Now, there's a few truths that I want to highlight from the short portion of Scripture that we have looked at today. And then at the end of the sermon, again, I will reiterate Paul's words for you with the rest of the text. The first truth that I want to just lift out of the Scripture for you has to do with word usage. The words that Paul used to describe our standing before God the Father. He uses a very specific word. He says that we are sons of God. Now, Paul was not intending to be sexist in this passage. What he was doing was indicating that we have a standing before God the Father as full-grown children, not as little children before God. Now, in our culture, that doesn't make a whole lot of difference, does it? Your child is your child. And there's not a whole lot of difference between a little child and a big child. For instance, when Angelita and I pass away, our kids were going to inherit everything that we own. Now, I don't know why they want all of our debt, but that's what they're going to get. But anyway, they're going to inherit what they have. But, you know, my son can come to me and say, Daddy, I want this or I want that. And if I have it, normally he gets it. He doesn't have to wait to an age where he is full grown on most things. Now, some things he does. I'm not going to give him the grinder. But, you know, there are some things that we naturally think you have to be full grown for. But in Paul's society, there was a vast difference between children and their standing in society and full-grown children or full-grown sons of God. The idea is that the difference is this, that the children were little more than slaves. Even though they may have owned the estate eventually, they had no standing legally or even in the family relationship other than that of just little children. Their views were not taken into consideration. Anyone have a CEO of the family? A child who's actually kind of the CEO? I saw somebody point. But, you know, this is not the idea in Paul's society. Children's opinions did not matter. Nothing really mattered but what the father wanted in the family anyway. Until such time when the child had grown up into full stature. And when he became full in his rights, then he had control over what he would inherit. And not only that, but over the family as well. And so what Paul is essentially saying here is, you're not little children anymore. You're grown up now. You have not only privilege, but responsibility of the family. And so we have kind of a dual idea here that not only are you grown up in the privilege where you can inherit all of what God has for you, but it's not just a privilege, but it's a responsibility that you have. Now, of course, Spider-Man said with great responsibility comes with great power comes great responsibility. But we're not really studying Spider-Man today. The principle, though, is true in a sense. You were given great power as the heir of God. And now you have great responsibility to act as the family of God, to act in his power and act in his stead. We are his full-grown children. We're not simply little kids anymore. You get to sit at the big table now.